Yeah, good evening. Thank you for joining us today. Today, again, we have with us an art of living expert and an officer from the Vedic Dharma Sansthan. So, why is the Subramaniam Homam performed every year during Navratri at the Art of Living International Center? Jayarav, thank you for joining us today. So, Navratri is a sacred time and the divine feminine energy manifests in all its glory. At the Art of Living International Center, Gurudev has always emphasized that festivals are not just rituals but a collective movement of energy that uplifts the environment. Subramanian Homam, dedicated to Lord Subramanya, also known as Kartikeya or Murugan, is performed to invoke divine protection and to dispel negativities. During Navratri, the energies of the cosmos are naturally aligned, making it a powerful time for Homas. The Subramanian Homam brings immense spiritual blessings, helping seekers move forward on their path with courage and clarity. Now, in the Vedic Dhamma tradition, Subramanian Homam is considered one of the most potent fire rituals to remove obstacles, destroy evil forces, and invoke divine grace for knowledge, wisdom, and valor. Performing it in the presence of a realized master like Gurudev adds immeasurable strength. The presence of thousands of devotees chanting, meditating, and participating in the ritual magnifies the Sankalpa. Thus, this Homam is not just an individual act but a collective offering for the welfare of humanity. Now, who is Lord Subramanya and why is he invoked during Navratri? Now, the Lord Subramanya, also called as Kartikeya or Murugan, is the son of Lord Shiva and goddess Parvati and the younger brother of Lord Ganesha. He is the commander of the divine army, representing valor, wisdom, and dharma. Navratri celebrates the victory of good over evil, and Subramanya is the embodiment of that energy. He destroyed the demon Tarakasura, who represented ignorance and dharma. By invoking Subramanya, we awaken that same inner courage and clarity within ourselves to overcome negativity. Now, in Shakta and Shaiva traditions, Navratri is a time of awakening Shakti in different forms. Subramanya is Shakti's own son, born of the divine sparks of Shiva and nourished by the river Ganga and six mothers of Kritikas. His very birth was for the destruction of demonic forces. Hence, invoking him during Navratri is symbolic of victory over our inner demons like anger, lust, greed, jealousy, delusion, and pride. In Vedic astrology, Subramanya is also considered the protector from afflictions of Mars or Kuja dosha. Therefore, the Homam is both spiritual and remedial. Now, how does the Subramanian Homan benefit those attending in person at the ashram? Being physically present at the Art of Living International Center during Subramanian Homam is a unique experience. Thousands sit together in silence, soaking in the chants, the fire offerings, and the profound meditations guided by Gurudev. The vibrations of the mantras purify the mind and environment. Many participants report feeling a sudden release of fear, confusion, and heaviness after attending. The ritual instills courage, clarity, and devotion in Vedic terms. The homum purifies the five elements in and around the participants. The Agni or fire acts as a medium carrying prayers to the divine. When devotees make offerings with sincerity, the fire transforms them into subtle vibrations that elevate consciousness. In the Subramanian Homam, the Kavacham or the shield of protection of Lord Subramanya is invoked, granting devotees freedom from unseen negativities. Being physically present means that receiving the full impact of the ritual, as once the subtle body absorbs these vibrations directly. Now, what is the significance of performing Subramaniam Homam in the presence of Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji? Jai Gurudev, yes, Gurudev is not just a spiritual leader but a living embodiment of knowledge and compassion. When a homam is performed in his presence, the Sankalpa is magnified exponentially. His subtle intention becomes the guiding force of the ritual. Participants often feel that Gurudev's silent glance itself carries blessings more powerful than words. The Subramanian Homam at the ashram becomes a cosmic event because of his presence transforming a Vedic ritual into a global wave of positivity. In a Vedic tradition, the presence of a realized master is considered equivalent to having all deities present. Scriptures say that the sankalpa of a jnani is unstoppable. Gurudev's presence ensures that the ritual is not just mechanical but deeply infused with grace. Moreover, his ability to connect ancient Vedic rituals with modern day seekers gives the homam a universal relevance. It is rare in today's world to witness such a large scale, authentic Vedic ritual conducted under the guidance of a living master. Now, could you explain the procedure of Subramanian Homam as done in the ashram? The ritual begins with Ganapati Puja to remove obstacles, followed by Sankalpa or intention setting. Then Kalasha Sthapana is done, invoking the presence of Lord Subramanya. Vedic priests chant powerful hymns like the Subramanya Ashtotara and Shatana Mawali, Kanda Shashti Kavacham, and Skanda Gayatri. Offerings such as ghee, sesame, honey, fruits, and herbs are made into the sacred fire. While chanting mantras, devotees collectively chant Sarvan Bhava and Om Subramanya Swamine Namaha. After the main offerings, the Purnahuti or the final offering is done, symbolizing the surrender of all desires to the divine. Abhishekam or ritual bathing of Lord Subramania's idol with milk, curd, honey, sandal paste, and water follows, invoking blessings of purity and strength. The Homam concludes with Arati and Prasadam distribution. In the ashram, the scale is massive with hundreds of priests chanting in unison, accompanied by Gurudev's presence and devotees meditating deeply. It is both a ritual and a spiritual celebration. Now, how does chanting Sarvan Bhava during the Homam affect participants? The Sarvan Bhava is one of the most powerful mantras of Lord Subramania. It is composed of six syllables, each representing one face of the six-faced deity. Chanting this mantra cleanses the six chakras in our subtle body and awakens Shakti. During the Homam, when thousands stand together, the collective resonance elevates consciousness and creates a shield of protection around the environment. Many devotees experience deep silence and tears of devotion while chanting. In Vedic understanding, each syllable of Sarvana Bhava has a vibrational impact on the nervous system. Sa energizes the root chakra, Ra purifies the solar plexus, and Va harmonizes the heart. Na calms the throat, and Bha illuminates and illumines the third eye, and Va opens the crown chakra. Hence, chanting aligns body, mind, and spirit. When integrated into the Homam, this mantra acts as a subtle fire within the subtle body, burning karmic impressions. Now, how is the Subramaniam Home connected with valor and protection for devotees? The Lord Subramania is known as the commander in chief of the celestial army. His very presence symbolizes protection against all odds. When we participate in the Subramaniam Homam, we invoke that same protective energy within. Devotees feel a rise in inner strength, courage to face life's challenges, and resilience against negativity. Many teachers and volunteers of the art of living draw courage from this Homam before taking up seva projects in difficult terrains. The Skanda Puran describes Lord Subramania as the one who holds the veil or the spear which destroys demonic forces. The Homam invokes this veiled Shakti which acts as a divine shield for devotees. On a subtle level, it removes harmful planetary influences, spiritual blockages, and unseen negativities. Protection here does not mean absence of problems but empowerment to face them fearlessly. Just as Subramanya led the Devas to victory, devotees are led to success in their endeavors. Now, can Subramaniam Homam help in overcoming internal struggles like fear, anger, and confusion? Absolutely, fear and anger are inner demons more destructive than external enemies. Subramania symbolizes the destruction of these inner negativities. By attending the Homam, devotees feel an inner cleansing. The chanting and fire offerings create a deep silence within which naturally reduces mental turbulence. Gurudev often says, you don't fight with your mind, you simply go beyond it. The Homam helps in that transcendence. Scriptures describe Tarakasura not only as an external demon but as symbolic of ignorance and uncontrolled emotions. Subramania's victory signifies the triumph of clarity over confusion and wisdom over ignorance. The Homam acts as a psycho-spiritual therapy where the vibrations of mantras penetrates the subconscious mind, burning impressions of anger, fear, and delusion. Thus, it brings a lasting inner peace and stability. Now, how do the Art of Living volunteers relate to Subramaniam Homam in their seva work? Their seva often demands courage, clarity, and the ability to face unpredictable challenges. Volunteers working in rural development, trauma relief, or international projects need the valor of Subramaniam. By participating in the Homam, they draw inspiration and inner strength. The fire ritual becomes a reminder that just as Subramania fought darkness, they too are fighting ignorance and suffering in society with the tools of knowledge and compassion. From a Vedic perspective, those who serve society are performing yajna in action. Subramaniam Homam energizes these karma yogis with divine blessings, ensuring that their work is protected from obstacles. It empowers them with dharmic strength so that their efforts bear fruit, just as Subramania led an army volunteers to become divine warriors of service under the guidance of Gurudev. Now, how does the presence of thousands of devotees amplify the effect of the Homam? Collective consciousness has immense power. When the thousands meditate, chant, and participate together, the vibrations are magnified manifold. Each person's energy resonates with others, creating a field of positivity. In the ashram, the Subramaniam Homam is not just an individual ritual, but a global collective act for peace and prosperity. The combined Sankalpa uplifts not only those present but also the environment beyond. In Vedic science, this is called a Samuhik Shakti. A single lamp lights a room, but thousands of lamps light up the entire world. When thousands gather with one intention, the effect on the subtle plane is enormous. The Homam thus becomes a yajna not only for personal benefit but for global harmony. That is why such large scale rituals in the ashram have a profound impact. bringing rain, prosperity, and peace to the region and beyond. Now, how is the Subramanian Homam connected to the spiritual cleansing of the environment? Every Homam is a purification process not just for individuals but for the entire environment. In the Subramaniam Homam, sacred herbs, ghee, honey, and rains are offered into the fire. This releases subtle healing vibrations into the atmosphere. Gurudev often says that the environment carries impressions of human emotions and activities. When a powerful Homam is done with chanting, these impressions are neutralized. The ashram itself feels lighter, more vibrant, and deeply sacred after the ritual. Devotees often say the air itself feels charged with divinity. From the Vedic standpoint, the yajna fire carries offerings to the celestial beings who maintain cosmic order. The smoke from the fire, infused with mantras, carries purifying properties. Scientific studies have shown that Vedic fire rituals reduce bacterial presence in the air and enhance oxygen quality on a subtle level. They balance the five elements or the Pancha Mahabhutas of the environment. Thus, the Subramaniam Homam not only blesses individuals but harmonizes nature itself. It restores balance where there is disturbance, ensuring that prosperity reigns and fertility follow in the region. Now, why is Subramaniam, Lord Subramania, especially revered in South India, and how does that reflect in the Homam? Nevertheless, Lord Subramania, known as Murugan in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, has been the deity of valor, wisdom, and protection for centuries in South India. Temples like Palani, Tiruchendur, and Subramania in Karnataka are centers of deep devotion. In the ashram, this cultural connection is honored by performing the Subramaniam Homam during Navratri, allowing devotees from South India to feel rooted in their tradition while experiencing Gurudev's universal guidance. In Vedic Dharma, Subramania is considered the grantor of jnana or knowledge. South Indian saints like Arunagirinathar composed thousands of hymns praising him, especially the Kandara Anubhuti and the Thirupugas. The Homam at the Art of Living International Center reflects this tradition. Please chant not only Vedic hymns and mantras, but also Tamil hymns dedicated to Subramaniam. This blending of regional devotion and universal Vedic ritual is what makes the Ashram Homam unique and inclusive. Now, what role do Vedic priests play in ensuring the authenticity of the Homam? The art of living has always emphasized authenticity. The priests who conduct the Subramaniam Homam are highly trained in Vedic recitation and ritual procedures. Their discipline, pronunciation, and adherence to tradition ensure that the Homam is performed exactly as prescribed in the scriptures. This creates a channel for divine energy to manifest. For participants, the experience is not just spiritual but also educational as they witness the living continuity of the Vedic tradition. Now, the role of priests is crucial because the Homam is a science of sound and ritual precision. Every mantra must be chanted with correct intonation for the energy to manifest. In Vedic Dham Sansthan, priests undergo years of training in ghanas, padas, and tramas methods of chanting at the ashram. These priests are further guided by Gurudev's Sankalpa, which enhances the potency. Thus, the authenticity is preserved and seekers receive maximum spiritual benefit. Now, how does the Homam align with Gurudev's vision of uniting tradition with the modernity? Gurudev's beautifully bridges the ancient and the modern. While the Subramaniam Homam is deeply traditional, its presentation at the ashram is inclusive and universal. Devotees from around the world, many of whom may not understand Sanskrit or Tamil, still feel the energy and depth of the ritual. Gurudev often explains the essence in simple terms: valor, clarity, and devotion. This allows modern seekers, including youth and professionals, to connect without being feeling alienated. Traditionally, rituals were confined to temples or specific communities. Gurudev has brought them to a global audience, showing that Vedic wisdom is universal. The Homam is not about superstition but about energy science. For example, corporate leaders attending Navratri at the ashram often experience deep clarity after the Subramaniam Home. This is how Gurudev ensures that the ritual is not an outdated practice but a living, breathing tradition serving humanity in the present era. Now, what specific mantras are central in the Subramaniam Homam? The key mantras chanted during the Homam include the Subramaniam Gayatri mantra, Om Tatpurusha Vidmahe Mahasenaya Dhimahi Tanno Shanmukha Prachodaya. This invokes Lord Subramania's wisdom and protection. Additionally, the Kanda Shashti Kavacham is recited, which is a shield or protection against negativities. The priests also chant the Shadakar Shara mantra or the Om Sarvana Bhava repeatedly, infusing the environment with the powerful vibrations. Each mantra has a specific purpose. The Gayatri invokes knowledge, the Kavacham ensures protection, and the Sarvana Bhava cleanses inner and outer obstacles. Together, they form a complete spiritual armor. The vibrations of these mantras penetrate deeply into the subtle body. In the Vedic Samstan tradition, these are considered not just sounds but living energies that directly connect devotees with Lord Subramaniam. Now, how do children and young people benefit from attending this homam? Jagadev, children and youth often find rituals boring or complicated, but at the ashram, the Subramaniam Homa is presented in such a vibrant way, with collective chanting, colorful offerings, and Gurudev's presence that even young people are drawn in it. Many parents bring their children to bless them with courage and clarity. Many youth attending Yes Plus or YLTP courses at the ashram often report feeling more fearless, focused, and energized after the home. In Vedic tradition, children exposed to rituals from a young age develop deep cultural roots. Subramania himself is often portrayed as youthful and radiant. When young people witness his worship, they internalize the values of bravery, discipline, and service. The homam removes negative planetary influences affecting education or mental stability. Thus, it gives youngsters a strong foundation in both spiritual and worldly success. Now, can the Subramaniam Homam be considered a form of healing? Absolutely, healing happens at multiple levels physical, mental, and spiritual. The fire, the mantras, and the collective energy all contribute to this healing. Many devotees have shared that chronic fears, anxieties, and even health issues are lightened after attending the Homam. Gurudev often reminds us that disease begins in the mind, and when the mind is cleansed, the body follows. The Subramaniam Homam accelerates this process. Vedic texts describe Agni as the great healer. Fire transforms, purifies, and energizes. When medicinal herbs are offered with specific mantras, they release subtle healing properties. The Subramaniam Homam specifically removes afflictions related to Mars, such as blood disorders, fevers, and mental restlessness. Thus, it is both a spiritual and therapeutic ritual. Modern science is now beginning to recognize the psychosomatic benefits of such practices. Now, how is devotion expressed during the homam by the devotees? The devotion at the ashram homam is expressed not only through ritual but also through silence, meditation, and collective chanting. When Gurudev leads bhajans after the homam, the atmosphere becomes deeply devotional. Many devotees offer flowers, fruits, or prayers into the fire, symbolizing the surrender of their ego. The tears of joy, the silence of meditation, and the chants of Sarvana Bhava are all expressions of heartfelt devotion. In Vedic tradition, devotion or bhakti is considered more powerful than even ritual perfection. Scriptures say Subramanya responds immediately to sincere calls of the heart. During the homam, even those unfamiliar with rituals benefit if they sit with pure intention. Devotion is seen in the shining eyes of participants, the stillness of their meditation, and the energy of their chants. This collective bhakti amplifies the success of the homam. Now, how is the Subramaniam Homam relevant for professionals and corporate leaders? The professionals today face immense stress, competition, and decision making pressure. Subramania represents clarity, courage, and victory, qualities much needed in the corporate world. Many leaders who attend Navratri at the ashram say that after the Homam, they feel more grounded, less anxious, and more decisive. Gurudev always connects rituals to practical life, reminding us that valor is not just for battlefields but for boardrooms too. In Vedic astrology, Mars governs energy, drive, and leadership. When Mars is afflicted, people face indecisiveness, conflicts, or lack of motivation. The Subramaniam Homam remedies this by strengthening Mars' positive energy. Thus, professionals find renewed focus and leadership strength. For corporate leaders, it means making bold but wise decisions. For entrepreneurs, it means overcoming obstacles. The Homam provides a subtle energy boost for success in worldly endeavors while grounding it in Dharma. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam contribute to global peace beyond individual benefit? Gurudev has always emphasized that individual peace is the basis of world peace. When thousands gather at the ashram in the Mandir for the Subramaniam Homam, the collective vibrations of peace and devotion radiate into the world. Just as negative emotions can spread, positive vibrations too can uplift the planet. Many participants report that even family and friends back home feel calmer and more joyful after they attend such rituals. Vedic scriptures say Yajna sustains the world. The Subramaniam Homam is not performed only for individual gain but for Loka Kalyan, the welfare of the world. Offerings are made with prayers for global harmony, environmental balance, and peace among nations. Gurudev's Sankalpa ensures that the fruits of the Homam reach all corners of the globe. In times of war, conflict, and unrest, such rituals act as spiritual interventions, balancing collective consciousness. Now, why is the veil or the spear of Lord Subramanya symbolically important in this homam? Jagadish, the veil is not just a weapon, it is a symbol of piercing clarity. In spiritual terms, it represents the sharpness of discrimination or viveka. Life presents us with choices, and often the mind is clouded by confusion. The veil teaches us to cut through illusions and stand firmly in truth. During the Subramaniam Homam, the veil is invoked as a divine force that destroys ignorance and negativity in our lives. Gurudev often says that when we are centered, clarity comes naturally, just like the veil piercing through darkness. In the scriptures, the veil was gifted by goddess Parvati to her son Subramanya for the specific purpose of destroying the demon Tarakasura. It is considered an embodiment of divine Shakti. During the Homam, offerings are made invoking the veiled Shakti. The priests chant verses from Skanda Purana describing its protective power. The veil is not merely external, it resides within as a willpower, determination, and wisdom. Thus, the Homam strengthens this inner veil, equipping devotees to face challenges fearlessly. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam align with the larger celebrations of Navratri at the ashram? Jagadev, the Navratri at the Art of Living International Center is a grand symphony of devotion, knowledge, and celebration. Each day is dedicated to different aspects of the Divine Mother through puja, satsangs, and knowledge sessions. The Subramaniam Home becomes an integral part of the celebration, invoking the warrior son of the Mother who protects Dharma. It complements other rituals like Chandi Homam, Rudra Puja, and Devi Puja, also Lalita Sahasnama and Durga Saptasati. Together, they create a complete experience, nurturing, protective, and empowering. In the Vedic tradition, Navratri is a time when the energy of Shakti is at its peak. Subramanya is born of the Shakti, and his worship during Navratri represents the manifestation of divine valor alongside compassion. At the ashram, the performance of Subramaniam Homam amidst the 9 nights of Devi worship balances the energy of nurturing, which is Shakti, and protecting, which is Subramaniam. Now, it shows that the spiritual path is not only about love, but also about strength and dharma. How do international devotees connect with a ritual like Subramaniam Home? There are the many international devotees attending Navratri at the ashram may be unfamiliar with Hindu rituals, yet the Subramaniam Home transcends cultural boundaries. Fire, chanting, and meditation are universal. Gurudev often explains the significance in simple language, valor, protection, clarity, which resonates with everyone. Participants from Europe, the Americas, and Asia often share that they felt an indescribable energy during the homam. Even without understanding the Sanskrit, it becomes a global spiritual experience. The Vedic Sanskrit recognizes that the essence of homams is universal, though the language and tradition are rooted in India. When international devotees sit with sincerity, their presence itself magnifies the ritual. Subramanya is not confined to geography, he is a universal archetype of courage. Thus, people from diverse backgrounds connect deeply, experiencing protection and empowerment in their own context, whether in personal struggles, careers, or family life. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam prepare devotees for deeper meditation? Fire rituals cleanse the environment and the mind, making it easier for seekers to slip into meditation. After the Subramaniam Homam, Gurudev often guides a collective meditation where thousands enter deep silence. Devotees say their minds feel lighter, free of restlessness. This is because the Homam burns subtle impressions or samskaras, creating inner space. When such purification precedes meditation, the experience is profound, often touching states of bliss and expansion. In Vedic philosophy, Agni is considered the mouth of the gods and also the purifier of the mind. By offering oblations into Agni, we symbolically offer our negativities. Once this purification happens, the mind naturally becomes still. The Subramaniam Homam specifically invokes valor, which reduces inner fear and restlessness. A fearless mind easily turns inward. Thus, the Homam is not just an external ritual, but an inner preparation for meditation. Now, how does the Homam support seekers on the path of knowledge and wisdom? Lord Subramanya is known as Deva Senapati, the leader of the celestial army, but also as the grantor of wisdom. In Tamil tradition, he is called Jnana Pandita, the master of knowledge. Gurudev emphasizes that courage and wisdom go hand in hand. The Subramanya Homam blesses the seekers with both valor to walk the path and wisdom to discern truth. Many students and scholars attending the Homam find themselves more focused and inspired afterward. In the Skanda Puran, there is a story where Subramanya himself became the guru of his father Shiva, explaining the meaning of the Pranava or Om. This shows a supreme role as a teacher of knowledge. During this Homam, when his blessings are invoked, seekers receive clarity of thought, sharpness of intellect, and humility of heart. It is especially beneficial for students, teachers, and anyone seeking knowledge as it removes the inner blocks to learning. Now, what role does music and chanting play in enhancing the energy of the homam? At the ashram, the Subramaniam homam is not only about a ritual fire, but also about collective energy. Bhajans, chanting, and the resonance of Sarvanabhava fill the atmosphere with devotion. Music dissolves the analytical mind and opens the heart. Gurudev often says that music is food for the soul. When combined with Vedic chanting, the effect is transformative. Devotees often sway, clap, and even dance in joy after the Homam. In Vedic tradition, sound is the primary medium of creation. Mantras are sound forms of divinity. When chanted with precision, they awaken dormant energies within and around. During the Subramaniam Homam, the priest chanting aligns with the collective bhajans, creating a powerful synergy. This combination ensures that participants do not just witness the ritual but become part of its energy flow. The sound amplifies the effect of the Homam manifold. How is prasadam distributed after the Subramaniam Homam, and what is its significance? Jagadav, after the completion of the Homam, the final offering or the Purna Ahuti is performed and Prasadam is distributed to all. At the ashram, this often includes sacred ash or vibhuti, fruits, and especially blessed food. Devotees accept it with deep reverence, knowing that it carries the energy of the ritual. Gurudev often reminds us that Prasadam is not just food, it is grace made tangible. Eating it with awareness nourishes both body and soul. In Vedic Dharma, Prasadam is the divine's blessing materialized. When offerings are made into the sacred fire, they are accepted by the deity and returned as prasadam. It carries subtle vibrations of the mantras in the fire. Consuming prasadam after Subramaniam Homam is believed to bring protection, strength, and peace of mind. It's also a reminder of humility that all we receive is the divine's gift. Now, how is the Homam relevant for those facing family or relationship challenges? Relationships often suffer due to misunderstandings, ego, and insecurity. The Subramaniam Homam invokes clarity, harmony, and courage, qualities needed in relationships. Many families attend the Homam together at the ashram and report greater unity afterward. Gurudev teaches that when fear and insecurity dissolve, love naturally blossoms. The Homam creates that space of security and openness, healing bonds within families. The Subramanya is also known as Kumara, the eternally youthful one, representing harmony and beauty in relationships. In astrology, he governs Mars, which influences passion, energy, and compatibility. When Mars is afflicted, relationships face conflicts. The Homam remedies this, reducing anger, aggression, and misunderstandings. Thus, couples and families benefit by experiencing more peace, patience, and mutual respect. Now, how is the Homam beneficial for removing astrological doshas, especially Kuja dosha? Many devotees come to the Homam seeking relief from astrological challenges. Kuja dosha is the affliction of Mars, is often linked with delays in marriage, conflicts, or instability. The Subramanya Homam specifically addresses Mars related afflictions by invoking Lord Subramanya, who governs Mars. Devotees experience relief and smoother life paths. Gurudev emphasizes that while rituals help, faith and inner strength are equally important. The Homam provides both. Now, in Vedic astrology, Mars governs courage, vitality, and relationships. When afflicted, it causes Kuja dosha, bringing challenges in marriage and harmony. Subramanya is considered the supreme remedy. The Subramanyam Homam neutralizes the malefic effects of Mars, balancing its energy. Please chant mantras specifically targeting these afflictions during the ritual. Hence, it is highly recommended for those facing such astrological challenges. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam inspire seva or selfless service in devotees? Jagadav Seva requires courage, compassion, and clarity. After the Homam, many devotees feel energized to engage in service activities, whether teaching, volunteering, or supporting social projects. Gurudev often says that true valor is serving society with love. The Subramaniam Homam awakens this inner warrior spirit not to fight others but to fight suffering through seva. Volunteers leave the ashram with renewed motivation to serve. In Vedic tradition, Yajna is not complete until its fruits are shared with society. Subramanya himself is the commander who led the Devas selflessly. His energy inspires devotees to see their lives as service to humanity. The Homam strengthens the spirit by giving without expectation. The Seva becomes the natural extension of the ritual in action, bringing the divine into daily life. Now, why is Lord Subramanya particularly worshipped during Navratri at the ashram? Yeah, the Navratri is a time when the cosmic energy manifests in different forms of Shakti, and each day is dedicated to one aspect. Lord Subramanya, also known as Kartikeya, is the embodiment of divine wisdom and valor. In our ashram, Gurudev always emphasizes that Navratri is not just about external rituals, but an inner transformation. Worshipping Subramanya symbolizes conquering the six enemies of the mind like lust, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and jealousy. When the homam is performed, it brings inner clarity, courage, and strength, especially for seekers engaged in seva and sadhana. Now, in the Shastra, Subramanya is called Deva Senapati, the commander of the divine forces. His worship during Navratri aligns with the victory of Dharma over Adharma. The fire ritual with the sacred mantras from Skanda Purana and Subramanya Ashtakam invokes his blessings to protect devotees from unseen obstacles, karmic blockages, and planetary afflictions like Ketu Dosha. At the ashram, this worship becomes even more powerful in Gurudev's presence because the sankalpa is for universal peace and harmony, not merely individual benefit. Now, can you describe the atmosphere during Subramaniam Homam at the ashram? The atmosphere is electric yet deeply meditative. Hundreds of devotees gather in the Dhyan Mandir, dressed in traditional attire with hearts full of devotion. The rhythmic chanting of Subramaniam Gayatri or Shad Shakshari mantra resonates across the ashram. Gurudev's silent presence adds immense depth. Many people report spontaneous meditative states, emotional release, or profound stillness. The fragrance of sandalwood, camphor, and flowers fills the air, while the Homa fire radiates warmth and divinity. A homam is not merely a ritual, it's a living energy. At the ashram, every detail is done with scriptural precision. The kalashas, the yantras, the offerings, the priest's intonations. What makes it unique here is the collective sankalpa. People come from around the world, bringing their prayers for personal well being, family harmony, or even professional clarity. When all these intentions merge with the chanting, the space becomes charged and one feels the tangible presence of Subramanya himself. Now, how do the mantras chanted during Subramaniam Homam affect the participants? The mantras are not just words, they are vibrations that align our body and mind with the cosmic rhythms. For instance, the Om Sarvana Bhava mantra invokes the six divine faces of Lord Murugan, each representing different dimensions of wisdom and energy. When chanted in the Homam, these vibrations purify the subtle body, calm mental turbulence, and bring sharpness of intellect. Participants often report feeling lighter, more centered, and energized after the Homam. Absolutely, from a Vedic standpoint, each syllable of the Subramanian mantras carries Bija Shakti. The chanting creates a resonance with higher cosmic frequencies. The Agni or fire acts as a carrier, delivering the offerings to the divine realms, while the sound waves reprogram the participants' subconscious, especially for those with doshas related to Mars or Ketu. In the horoscope, these mantras bring relief and balance. Scientifically, to group chanting synchronizes brain waves, reduces stress hormones, and induces a deep meditative state. Now, how does the Homam benefit Art of Living volunteers and teachers specifically? Volunteers and teachers are constantly giving time, energy, and emotions in service. While Seva is nourishing, it can also bring challenges, misunderstandings, energy drain, or even obstacles in personal life. The Subramaniam Home acts like an energetic shield, cleansing subtle impressions of samskaras and replenishing inner strength. It renews their commitment and fills them with enthusiasm to continue Seva joyfully. Now, Subramania is known as a remover of obstacles and the giver of courage. For those engaged in dharmic activities like spreading knowledge, teaching meditation, or organizing service projects, unseen obstacles, be it financial, social, or karmic, often arise. Participating in the Homam helps neutralize these hurdles, just as Kartikeya led the divine army to victory. Volunteers also feel empowered to lead seva projects with the confidence and clarity. Now, what role does Agni or fire play in the Subramaniam Homam? In the art of living, Gurudev often says that Agni represents transformation. Whatever we offer into the fire, be it grains, ghee, or herbs, symbolizes surrendering impurities, desires, and negative impressions. The fire consumes them and transforms them into positive energy during the homam. Agni acts as a bridge between the human and the divine. It carries our prayers to Lord Subramania while simultaneously purifying the environment. Agni is called Deva Mukha, the mouth of the gods in the Rig Veda. In Subramaniam Homam, Agni is the medium through which our offerings reach Kartikeya. Scientifically, the combustion of ghee and herbs releases the medicinal vapors that cleanses the air, while the sound of mantra structures the space energetically. Spiritually, when devotees focus on the fire, it absorbs their restlessness and kindles inner awareness. This is why participants often feel deep silence and clarity after the homam. Now, how does Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar Ji guide the Subramaniam Homam at the ashram? Gurudev's role is subtle yet profound. He doesn't always sit in the physical Homa Kunda, but his Sankalpa guides the entire process. Before the Homam, he may feel the priests and devotees bless the Kalashas or simply sit silently, radiating presence. Gurudev emphasizes that rituals without devotion are empty, so his constant guidance is to bring bhava or feeling into the Homam. When devotees chant Sarvana Bhava with love, it becomes alive. Many people experience visions, tears of gratitude, or deep meditation simply because Gurudev's consciousness holds a space. In Vedic tradition, the Sankalpa of a realized master is the most powerful element of any homam. Gurudev's Sankalpa during Subramaniam Homam is never just for individuals but for the well being of humanity, peace on earth, and upliftment of collective consciousness. This makes the ashram's homam unique compared to private homams. His very presence elevates the efficacy of the mantras because when a knower of the self resides, the devas are automatically invoked with a greater intensity. Now, what are the specific offerings made into the fire during Subramaniam Homam? Offerings are symbolic and highly significant. Grains like rice and sesame represent abundance and fertility. Ghee symbolizes purity and divine love. Herbs like darba grass, lotus seeds, and dried fruits signify different aspects of nature being surrendered to the divine. Most important is the offering of Navadhanyas or nine grains, which invoke the nine planets, harmonizing astrological influences. Devotees sometimes offer their written sankalpas, wishes, prayers mentally into the fire too. Now, in Subramaniam Homam, there are also unique offerings like ello or sesame mixed with jaggery, symbolizing sweetness in relationships and removal of bitterness. Turmeric and kumkum are offered for auspiciousness, while sandalwood and camphor purify the subtle environment. Honey, milk, curd are sometimes used in abhishekas before the homam, and their vibrations are carried into the fire as well. Each material has both a scriptural significance and a scientific basis, releasing positive ions, purifying the air, and uplifting consciousness. Now, how do children and youth benefit from attending the Subramaniam Homam? For children, rituals are not about intellectual understanding but about impressions. When they sit in the homam, listen to mantras, and watch the fire, these sounds and sights leave deep samskaras in their subconscious. Many art of living children's courses like Baljitna Shivers encourage kids to attend homams because it instills discipline, respect for tradition, and love for the divine. Parents often notice their children becoming calmer, more focused in studies, and more respectful at home. Subramanya is particularly a youth deity, ever young, radiant, and full of energy. For teenagers and young adults, participating in his homam invokes qualities like leadership, courage, and clarity of direction in life. From a Jyotish perspective, it also reduces the negative effects of Ketu dosha, which often creates confusion and aimlessness in youth. At the ashram, I have seen young volunteers leave the home with tears of joy, saying they suddenly feel a sense of purpose or that their anger has dissolved. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam support people facing health issues? Health is deeply connected to our mental and emotional state. Subramaniam Homam works on the subtle body first, removing energetic blockages, calming the nervous system, and boosting vitality. Many participants have shared that chronic headaches, unexplained anxieties, or sleep disturbances reduced after attending. Gurudev always says that the mind has a strong impact on the body, and by cleansing the mind through mantras and fire, the body also begins to heal. Scripturally, Subramanya is invoked to remove sarpa dosha and ailments connected to skin, fertility, and chronic diseases. The Homo mantras channel Agnes's healing force into the body. The fumes of herbs like gukal and samidas or wood have antibacterial and purifying effects. Spiritually, it removes karmic imprints causing suffering. Of course, it is not a substitute for medical care, but it strengthens prana shakti, which supports faster recovery and inner resilience against illness. Now, how is the collective energy of thousands of devotees harnessed during the Homam? Collective consciousness is powerful when thousands chant in unison. The effect is multiplied manifold. Gurudev often compares it to many light bulbs lighting up a hall. Together they bring brilliance. At the Homam, people come with open hearts, surrendering personal desires. And when this energy merges, it creates a magnetic field of positivity. This not only benefits the ashram but radiates across the world. Now, in Yajna Sangha Shakti, the power of the community is crucial. A single prayer has strength, but when thousands chant Om Saravana Bhava together, the vibration penetrates the atmosphere like a thunderclap. The devas respond more strongly to collective sankalpa. This is why kings in ancient times conducted grand yagyas for the welfare of their kingdom. At the ashram with people from every continent, the collective energy becomes global, silently benefiting humanity. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam influence planetary doshas, especially Ketu and Mars? Many people struggle with unexplained obstacles, sudden losses, or relationship difficulties, which astrologically are linked to Ketu or a malefic Mars. The Subramaniam Homam directly addresses these planetary influences by invoking Lord Murugan, who is the presiding deity of Ketu. The restless and confusing energy of this planet is harmonized. Participants often notice smoother progress in their projects, relief from constant setbacks, and more stability in personal life. Yes, this is firmly established in Jyotish Shastra. Mars, when afflicted, can cause anger, accidents, and conflicts. Ketu, when imbalanced, leads to confusion, detachment without wisdom, and failures. The Subramanya mantras like Om Sarvana Bhava and Skandhyas Namaha pacify these grahas. The offerings of sesame, ghee, and red flowers specifically balance their energies. I have seen people whose horoscope indicated severe Ketu dosha experience relief after participating in the homam as if a heavy shadow had lifted. Can the Subramaniam Homam be performed for ancestral peace? Absolutely. Gurudev often reminds us that we are connected to seven generations of our ancestors. Sometimes their unresolved energies affect our present lives as health issues, emotional burdens, or lack of progress. During the Homam, offerings like sesame seeds and water are dedicated to them. Devotees feel a deep sense of relief and gratitude afterward, as if unseen blessings begin to flow. In fact, Subramania is closely linked with Pitru Shanti or ancestral peace. The Skanda Purana narrates how Kartikeya grants liberation to wandering souls. When sesame and darba are offered in the home, it uplifts the ancestral spirits, especially those stuck in intermediate realms. Many families who struggle with recurring issues across generations and find solace in this ritual as the karmic knots are slowly united. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam complement art of living practices like Sudarshan Kriya and meditation? Sudarshan Kriya clears stress at a physiological and emotional level, while meditation deepens silence and awareness. The Subramaniam Homam works at the subtle, energetic, and karmic levels. Together, they form a complete package of inner cleansing. After doing Sudarshan Kriya, the mind is calm and receptive. So, when you sit for the Homam, the mantras penetrate more deeply. Likewise, after the Homam, meditation feels effortless as if the environment itself is meditating with you. Now, from a Vedic perspective, sadhana and yajna are two wings of the same land and same bird. One is internal purification, the other is external offering. At the ashram, Gurudev has beautifully integrated both the devotee who practices pranayama, kriya, and meditation daily and also participates in homams. Progresses faster. This inner prana shakti is stabilized and the external obstacles are minimized. This is why many volunteers report exponential growth in their seva and personal lives after attending Navratri homams. Now, what is the significance of the veil or the divine spear of Lord Subramaniam in the Homam? The veil is a symbol of piercing wisdom. In the Homam, when mantras invoking the veil are chanted, it signifies cutting through ignorance, ego, and negative tendencies. Volunteers often share that after attending, they feel clarity in decision making, like fog has lifted from their minds. Gurudev explains that the veil is not just a weapon but a tool of light that illuminates the path of Dharma. Exactly. In the ritual, a small silver veil or symbolic representation is placed near the fire. Offerings are made, invoking its power. Scriptures describe the veil as a Shakti's gift to her son, representing divine protection. Astrologically, it neutralizes hostile energies. Spiritually, it cuts the knots of karma. Many devotees keep a veil at home after the homam, believing it guards their family from negativity and strengthens their spiritual resolve. Now, how is music and chanting integrated into the Subramaniam Homam at the ashram? There, the music is the soul of art of living at the ashram. The Subramaniam Homam is not a dry ritual; it's alive with devotion bhajans like Muruga Muruga and Kandashasti Kavacham are sung sometimes even while the priest continues mantras. The combination of Vedic intonations and soulful bhajans creates a multi-layered vibration. Devotees often dance in joy after the home, feeling both energized and centered. Vedic chanting itself is music structured by raga and chandas. At the ashram, what makes it unique is the fusion of traditional Vedic mantras with contemporary bhakti sangeet. This attracts both traditional devotees and modern seekers. Gurudev often says music is the language of the soul, and during the Homam, when thousands sing in unison, it feels as though the devas are personally present, listening and blessing. Now, how is the Subramaniam Homam connected to the story of Sura Padman's defeat? Jagada, the story of Lord Murugan slaying the Asura Surapadmam is symbolic of victory over inner negativity. Surapadmam represents arrogance, ego, and ignorance that cloud our lives. During the Homa, mantras narrating this victory are chanted, and the fire symbolizes the destruction of these inner demons. For volunteers, this is deeply relevant. Seva often brings challenges from ego or misunderstandings, and invoking Subramanya helps them overcome such inner obstacles. In Skanda Purana, Subramanyas' battle against Surapadmam is cosmic. He doesn't just destroy but also transforms him. Surapadmam becomes the peacock and rooster, symbols that accompany Murugan. This teaches us that negativity is not to be hated but transformed into energy for higher purpose. The Homa mirrors this transformation where our offerings represent impurities being converted into strength and devotion. Now, what is the importance of the six faces of the Shanmukha of Lord Subramanya in this ritual? The six faces represent different aspects of wisdom and energy, divine love, courage, detachment, compassion, discipline, and ultimate knowledge. During the Homam, priests invoke each face separately through specific mantras. This balances the six directions of energy within a person, harmonizing body, mind, and spirit. Devotees feel more integrated, less scattered, and more centered after the Homam. Each phase also symbolizes the six chakras in the human system. As the mantras are chanted, they awaken dormant energies within us. Shanmukha is not just a deity but also a representation of the fully awakened human consciousness. That is why Homam participants often experience spontaneous meditation or even Kundalini stillings. The fire ritual is an external trigger for this internal awakening. Now, how is the Subramaniam Homam different from other Homams performed during Navratri? Together, each Homam has its unique focus. The Chandi Homam invokes Durga's fierce energy, Navgraha Homam balances planetary forces, and Rudra Homam invokes Shiva's blessings. The Subramaniam Homam is unique because it blends protection, wisdom, and courage. It is especially beneficial for overcoming deep seated fears, confusion, and obstacles that block one's path of growth. Yes, scripturally, too, Subramania is different. Most deities represent either wisdom, valor, or compassion. Subramania combines all three. His homam is not only for worldly success but also for spiritual progress. Compared to other Navratri homams, this one is especially potent for the youth, spiritual aspirants, and those starting new ventures because it bestows both courage and clarity. How do international devotees experience the Subramaniam Homam at the ashram? It's always moving to see foreigners who may not understand Sanskrit or Vedic rituals sitting with tears in their eyes during the homam. They say they don't need to intellectually grasp it. The energy is so palpable that they feel peace, love, and protection. Many return every Navratri just to participate again. Gurudev explains that the language of vibration transcends culture. I have interacted with devotees from Europe, Latin America, and Africa who said the homam gave them the same sense of sacredness they had always sought but never found in formal religion. The fire, the chanting, the collective devotion, it touches something universal. This shows that Sanatana Dharma is not bound by geography or culture. It is a science of consciousness accessible to all. Now, what happens to the ashes and remnants of the Subramaniam Homam? After the homam, the ashes of the vibhuti are distributed to participants. They are considered highly sacred and healing. Devotees apply it on their forehead or keep it in their homes for protection. It serves as a reminder of the transformation that happened within during the ritual. In Vedic practice, the remnants of a yajna are not ordinary. The ashes carry the energy of the mantras and the sankalpas offered. People often mix them with water and sprinkle them around their houses for purification. The humums, kumkum, turmeric, and prasadam are also distributed, symbolizing the blessings of Lord Subramanya reaching every home. In ancient times, kings would use yagya vibhuti to bless entire kingdoms. At the ashram, it extends Gurudev's sankalpa into the world. Now, can you share some personal experiences of devotees after attending the Subramaniam Homam? Many devotees share heart-touching stories. I recall one volunteer who had been struggling with a court case for years. After attending the homam, he said things unexpectedly resolved in his favor within weeks. Another devotee, a younger teacher, mentioned that she was constantly anxious and fearful. After sitting in the homam, she felt an unexplainable lightness and courage, as if a huge burden had lifted. These are not coincidences. They reflect the cleansing power of Subramania's energy. I have seen similar stories. A couple who could not conceive for years attended the home with deep devotion. A year later, they returned with their newborn child to offer thanks. Another family shared that their teenage son, who was rebellious and directionless, became calmer and more focused after attending. Such experiences are the living proof that the ritual is not symbolic. It has real, tangible impact when performed with devotion. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam help with the psychological issues like fear and anxiety? Yeah, the fear and anxiety often come from unprocessed impressions in the mind. The chanting of Saravana Bhava and other mantras directly works on the nervous system. It's like an internal cleansing of subconscious fears during the homam. People often cry, yawn, or feel a deep release, signs of stress leaving the system. Afterward, they feel grounded, courageous, and more open to life. Subramanya is described as Abhaya Pradata, the giver of fearlessness. The veil is spear is a symbol of cutting through mental illusions. The homam invokes this quality, piercing through layers of doubt and insecurity. From a modern perspective, the sound vibrations of mantras synchronize brain waves, reducing hyperactivity in the amygdala, the fear center of the brain. That's why devotees often experience peace and courage after attending. Now, how is the Subramaniam Homam relevant in today's corporate and political world? In corporate and political life, decision making, clarity, and courage are essential. Subramaniam Homam invokes precisely these qualities. Many professionals who attended the ashram share that they return with a sharper focus, better intuition, and the ability to handle high pressure environments without stress. Gurudev often says spirituality is not an escape but a support to excel in the world. Historically, kings and rulers performed skanda worship before battles or political decisions. Today, the battle is in boardrooms and parliaments where integrity and clarity are needed. Subramania's blessings help leaders remain dharmic while making tough choices. The Homam dissolves hidden obstacles, whether they are legal, financial, or interpersonal, so leaders can move forward with wisdom and valor, like Kartikeya leading the Devas. Now, how do families experience transformation through this homum? Families often come together to offer the homum, and the effects ripple through relationships. Quarrels reduce, mutual understanding increases, and a sense of togetherness blossoms. Children become calmer, elders feel more secure, and overall harmony is restored. I have seen families who were on the verge of breaking apart find new strength after attending. In Sanatan Dharma, family is seen as a sacred unit, not just a social arrangement. Subramania is a deity who unites divine forces, and his energy unites families too. When a family performs Homam together, karmic blocks that create misunderstandings or financial strain are dissolved. This creates an environment where love and respect naturally thrive. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam integrate science and spirituality? Gurudev often highlights that our traditions are not blind faith but rooted in deep sciences. For example, the herbs and ghee used in the homam release the purifying fumes, the mantras create specific sound vibrations, and the collective chanting aligns mental frequencies together. This creates both physiological and psychological benefits. It's like a total system reset. Exactly. Science explains the how, while spirituality explains the why. The Homam uses principles of sound, energy, fire, chemistry, and collective consciousness. Agnihotra research shows that Yagya smoke can neutralize bacteria and purify air. Similarly, each studies on mantra chanting show reduced stress. Subramaniam Homam combines all of these, but with the added spiritual dimension of invoking divine presence, making it both scientific and transcendental. Now, what is the cosmic symbolism of Lord Subramania as invoked in the Homam? Lord Subramania represents the balance of knowledge and action. His six faces symbolize seeing in all directions, past, present, future, inner, outer, and transcendental. During the Homam, these six aspects of awareness are invoked within us. It's like activating a higher vision that helps us act wisely in the world. Cosmically, Subramania is the commander of divine forces. He channels the power of Shiva and Shakti into one dynamic form. His spear or the veil represents piercing ignorance, while his peacock symbolizes victory over ego. In the Homam, the fire acts as the battlefield where our inner enemies like anger, greed, jealousy, fear are burned. Thus, devotees emerge victorious, aligned with the cosmic dharma. Now, how does the Subramaniam Homam connect with the tradition of Navratri? Devadev Navratri is a celebration of Shakti, and Subramanya is born of that Shakti to defeat Dharma. His very birth is the outcome of divine feminine energy. Shiva's is fiery seed carried by Agni, cooled by Ganga, and nurtured by the six Kritikas. So Subramanya is both the son of Shiva and Shakti. Performing his homam during Navratri honors the synergy of masculine and feminine cosmic forces. Yes, Navratri is not limited to Devi alone, it's about the play of divine forces. On one side, we worship Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. On the other, Subramanya as the protector of Dharma in ancient temples. Navratri always included Skanda related rituals at the Art of Living ashram. This continuity is beautifully maintained, showing how Gurudev integrates Devi worship with Skanda worship. Now, how does Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankarji explain the significance of this homam? Gurudev always and often says that Subramanya symbolizes clarity, valor, and spiritual discipline. He emphasizes that rituals are not for pleasing a deity outside but for awakening qualities inside. After the Homam, Gurudev sometimes guides meditations where he makes us feel Subramaniasa's energy within, sharp, alert, and fearless. That's why people leave not just blessed but also transformed. Gurudev beautifully bridges ancient wisdom with the modern life. He explains that while we light the fire outside, we also light the fire of awareness within. He often mentions that Subramania represents the inner guru, the one who guides from within. Thus, the Homam becomes a living dialogue between tradition and direct inner experience. Now, how are the mantras of the Subramaniam Homam different from other yagyas? The Subramaniam Homam includes specific mantras like Om Sarvana Bhavaya Namaha and Skanda Gayatri. These are powerful sound formulas that sharpen focus and awaken courage. Unlike generic mantras for prosperity or peace, these directly invoke energy that removes fear, grants clarity, and inspires dharmic action. Each yagya has a unique purpose. For example, Rudra Homam emphasizes purification, while Sudarshan Homam focuses on protection. Subramanian Homam uniquely combines protection, clarity, and valor. The mantras are designed to call upon Subramania's role as commander of divine forces. When chanted collectively in a sacred fire, they create a magnetic field of courage and wisdom. Now, how do volunteers and teachers of art of living benefit from attending this homam? Volunteers often face challenges, whether in handling people, managing events, or balancing seva with personal life. The Subramaniam Homam empowers them with courage, clarity, and patience. I have seen volunteers who felt stuck suddenly find creative solutions after the homam. It recharges their spirit to continue seva joyfully. Seva is not easy, it requires strength, humility, and resilience. Subramanya is the perfect role model as he is both a warrior and a yogi. When Art of Living teachers and volunteers attend this homam, they are infused with the qualities of leadership, discipline, and fearlessness. This allows them to serve society without burnout, always staying connected to divine grace. Now, what scriptural references mention the importance of worshipping Lord Subramanya? The Skanda Purana is the largest of all Puranas and is fully dedicated to Lord Subramanya. It describes his birth, his battles with demons, and the spiritual practices connected to him. Even in the Mahabharata, Subramanya is praised as the one who grants victory to warriors and wisdom to seekers. Exactly in the Ramayana, there are subtle references to when Rama worships Skanda before going into battle. In Tamil literature, especially the Tirupugas and the Kandar Anubhuti, Subramania is celebrated as the ultimate guru who grants liberation. The Subramaniam Homam we perform today is deeply rooted in these scriptural traditions, ensuring continuity of this timeless wisdom. Now, how is Lord Subramania described as a guru in scriptures, and how does the Homam reflect this? Jagadav Subramania is known as Swaminatha, the guru of even his father Lord Shiva. In one story, Shiva himself accepted Subramania as his teacher of the meaning of Om. This shows that the guru, true guru, is not bound by age or form. The Om reflects this by invoking Subramania not only as a warrior but also as an inner teacher who reveals the highest knowledge. Yes, the Swaminatha episode is profound. It tells us that wisdom is beyond hierarchy. It flows where there is openness. In the home, when the mantras are chanted, devotees often feel inner guidance arising spontaneously, like answers coming from within. This is Subramania's Guru Tattva awakening in their consciousness. Now, how does the Homam inspire today's youth, especially those struggling with confusion and distractions? The youth today face unprecedented distractions, social media, peer pressure, career anxiety. The Subramaniam Homam infuses them with courage and clarity, quality Subramania himself embodies. After attending, many young people feel more decisive, less restless, and inspired to take responsibility. Gurudev always says Seva gives direction to youthful energy, and the Homam strengthens that direction. In ancient times, young princes worshipped Skanda before taking on responsibility. Today, young professionals and students are no different. They need guidance and focus. Subramania represents youthful vigor channelized towards Dharma. The Homam connects you to this archetype, helping them transform raw energy into disciplined brilliance. Now, what role does a collective consciousness play during the Subramaniam Homam at the ashram? The Homam is not just an individual practice, it's a collective energy field. Thousands of devotees sitting together, chanting mantras in unison, magnify the effect manifold. Gurudev often says that when people meditate together, the energy is multiplied, not added. Similarly, the collective devotion during the Homam creates a powerful wave that uplifts everyone present. From the Vedic perspective, Yagyas are designed for collective benefit, not individual gain. The fire becomes the focal point where everyone's prayers unite and rise to the divine. In the ashram where people from across the globe participate, the collective consciousness transcends cultures and languages, creating a universal vibration of harmony and courage. Now, how does the physical environment of the Art of Living International Center enhance the effect of this home? The ashram itself is situated amidst hills, lakes, and sacred groves. Gurudev chose this land because of its high spiritual vibration. Performing the Subramaniam Homam here in the Mandir makes it especially potent. The purity of the air, the sacredness of the space, and the presence of Gurudev amplify the effects for participants. Absolutely. Environment is crucial in Vedic rituals. Just as a seed needs fertile soil, the rituals need a sattvic environment to flourish. The ashram is a kshetra, a sacred field. The temples, meditation halls, and nature together create an atmosphere where divine energies descend easily. That's why devotees often feel their prayers answered faster here. Now, what are the long term spiritual benefits for regular participants of Subramaniam Homam? Regular participation in the homam gradually transforms the devotee's consciousness, fear diminishes, courage and clarity increase, and the mind becomes more disciplined. For volunteers and teachers, it strengthens seva, making it effortless and joyful. Over time, subtle impressions of past karmas are neutralized, allowing one to lead a more balanced and purpose driven life. Scripturally, repeated homams create samskara shuddhi or purification of subtle impressions accumulated over lifetimes. Participants experience fewer obstacles, improved decision making, and better health. Many report feeling an invisible protection, a kind of divine guidance. In daily life, the long term effect is alignment with dharma, inner peace, and spiritual evolution. Now, how does the homam protect the participants from negative energies and obstacles? Jagada Subramania is called the remover of obstacles and protector from negative influences. The homam generates a protective aura around participants mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. One feels shielded from fears, jealousy, and malicious intentions. Many volunteers mention that they experience fewer conflicts in life and greater resilience after attending. From a Vedic standpoint, the fire acts as a purifier, and the mantras invoke protective energies. The veil symbolizes cutting through hidden negativity and karmic bondage. Participants are enveloped in divine vibrations which act as a shield, making them less susceptible to stress, misunderstandings, or external pressures. Now, what is the global significance of performing Subramaniam Homam at the ashram? Gurudev emphasizes that rituals like this are not just local, they radiate energy worldwide. Thousands of participants, international devotees, and the collective intention of peace and courage create vibrations that benefit humanity. The Homam performed with devotion and precision contributes to a global harmony, making the ashram a hub of positive energy. Historically, large yajnas were performed to bless kingdoms or regions. Today, in our interconnected world, energy flows globally. The vibrations from this Homam combined with the spiritual presence of Gurudev, which people across reach people across continents, subtly influencing consciousness, reducing fear, and inspiring dharmic action globally. Now, how does Gurudev envision preserving the tradition of Subramaniam Homam for future generations? Gurudev sees this ritual as a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern life. He encourages teaching the meaning behind the Homam, training volunteers in proper performance, and integrating it into the art of living courses. His vision is to maintain authenticity while making it accessible so future generations understand its a transformative power. Indeed, Gurudev combines scriptural accuracy with the practical relevance by documenting procedures, training priests, and volunteers in conducting homums annually. The tradition is preserved additionally by connecting it with the meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, and Seva. He ensures that the homum is not merely ritualistic but a living, evolving practice. Now, what final advice would you give to devotees participating in Subramaniam Homam? Participate with the full devotion, surrender, and an open heart. The power of the Homam increases manifold when intentions are sincere. Observe, absorb the vibrations, and reflect on Subramania's qualities like courage, wisdom, and devotion. Apply these qualities in daily life. I would add offer your mind, body, and heart to the ritual. Avoid distractions, chant along, and internalize the mantras. Remember that Subramania works silently, transforming subtle impressions. Be patient and consistent. The benefits unfold gradually but profoundly, Jagadev.